Turn the channel up. We're just going into 19. I'm confused.
You are confused.
I was a bit confused with that myself.
Over what took place?
Eric just started in. We had no forewarning. No. He just went right in.
You just drove the car without saying
we haven't
he said,
started anything.
Here
yet.
we go.
Boopity boop 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 doo.
Picking up tons of noise.
It's picking up the noise.
This is really just a passive-aggressive narrative.
I'm going to get to the aggressive part as we keep going on.
Don't include me in this. I'm not in my headphones quite yet.
Are you in the cups?
Yeah, I know. I'm bad at that.
Things to improve in one's life.
You look
Well,
hilarious.
stop making noise. Somewhere someone saw that.
No one else can hear you, so it
no one
doesn't
can
matter.
hear.
Welcome back to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, episode 40. I am Eric VC, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite click and clack, the VC boys. Say hello, Adam.
Click, click, clickety, click, 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 click.
Clack, clack, clackety, clackety, clack, clack.
Click, 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 click.
Say hello, Dave.
Clack, clack, clack. Hello, Dave. Not to be confused with Ratchet and Clank.
For this episode, we read chapters 18 through 24 of The Fires of Heaven. We watched some old friends reawaken. Some stop bickering and some continue antagonizing each other. We'll start this discussion as we always do with our view from Dragon Mount, and then having surveyed the terrain, we'll dance with the field mice and What Shook Your Willow. We'll then drape ourselves in purple and discuss the succession of Camelin and other queenly minutiae in the royals before looking at our emerging king of the world and Get Randy. We'll delve into the inscrutable savage society of the Aiel, and I'll be there for you before wrapping up with our Coplin of the Week and Who Leveled Up.
Nice.
Why are we dancing with the field mice? I didn't
like
get
it.
I didn't get it.
Willows in the fields.
All right, I still don't get it, but I'm going with
It's okay.
I get the visual picture, and it's fabulous.
It is
You,
fabulous.
me,
It's a bit of a
Eric,
red wall type
field
of thing.
mice.
That's right.
I'm there.
So let's don our carabiners and spurs and get our view from Dragon Mount. Chapter 19. Memories.
The only good song in that.
I like Mr. Mistopheles.
The only good song in that amazing movie.
I do like
Really?
Mr. Mistopheles. I don't know why. I just do.
Never. What is it?
I don't know how to sing it. I just know that I hear it and I like it. It would probably be better if they sung it like that.
Clickety clackety
Clickety clack.
So in
Clankety clack.
In chapter 19, word finally reaches Camelin of the flag of Manetheren being raised in the two rivers. You know.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's been? Several months.
I don't know. I feel like I have no real concept of time that passes in this world.
It's hard to tell.
Every time I think I do, they're like, "Oh, it's only been a year." I'm like,
Right.
"It seems like 17 years."
I think it's probably been 3 months, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose
I'd say
it's
a month
good
and a half
guess.
to 3.
Well, we know word travels
I'd say
very
I'd
slowly.
say 3 months is a fair assessment. Talonvor tells Morghese that the flag has been raised and Morghese is going to go do something about it, so she's going to go talk to Gabriel.
Did anyone else, when that news was coming in, that was not the news I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
Like, I was expecting him to be like, hey, the Dragon Reborn is out there.
Okay, yeah, it's been cited in Tyr.
Or maybe, the false dragon's free again. He escaped from the Aes Sedai or anything, literally anything but, there's tyranny and anarchy and the two rivers that you don't care about.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. I was a bit surprised by it too, because what we come from the side of knowing that this was
however long ago.
This was something the two rivers came up against, and they fought and they survived.
Well, even that
they were concerned.
Not that there were Trollocs in the two rivers,
right?
Or White Cloaks,
right? That's the word that's reached is that the flag has been raised.
The flag has been raised. Like she should care more about that than the fact that her land has been raised by hordes of the dark.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you brought that up because I was a little surprised as well.
Yeah.
That is that is odd. I mean, granted, they would be a little bit worried about a rebellion, so that is something the Queen would be concerned about. But it is strange that the news has not reached that there was a giant Trolloc attack. By the way, didn't any of them know about the original Trolloc attack that occurred there either? I mean, think about the events from the very first book. None of those seem to have reached her either. No wonder there's stuff going on over there.
Yeah, probably not. But this was brought up before. Who was it brought up by? That Farron, maybe? That was... No, because she's the one that raised the flag.
No, it's Fael who was a little bit concerned about a flag.
Because she knew that,
back when Fael was leveling up.
Yeah,
because she would know. And
I mean,
then here we go.
A plateau.
And then here we go. It wasn't a great idea.
Well,
I mean, it was.
I mean, it is strange that there have been a lot of things going on in the two rivers. And by the way, this is not
Tinker
Emmons
population
Field.
is decimated.
It's not just Emmons Field. It's several cities in the towns in the
what's
two
his
rivers.
face doesn't even exist anymore. Terran Ferry.
Terran Ferry.
Terran Ferry's no longer there.
Right, the town's
gone. Is it
gone.
actually Terran Ferry?
Yes.
Because that just sounds like Lord of the Rings to me right now.
Well, I wonder why. There was a lot of things that sounded like Lord of the Rings in that first
But I mean,
book.
that town's not even there.
Nope.
Oh, but the flag's been raised. How is no one reporting all these different things? Brandywine. The Brandywine.
Well, the Brandywine River. Buckleberry was the ferry. Yeah. Buckleberry.
And Dumbledore.
Yeah, no, but it completely makes sense that this is the...
I don't even read those books.
It's Dumbledore.
Whatever.
You don't quite know it.
I'm somewhere in between.
Wait, what did he call it?
Dumbledore.
I think Dumbledore sounds better. Maybe Dumbledore.
I love it. Dave, you're so innocent.
It's
precious.
I'm not exposed.
All right. Morghese runs off to Gabriel to tell him about the flag. And he's entertaining 7 of the most dangerous people to Morghese there in the courtyard or by the little golden fish pond.
Meanwhile, Morghese is blotto to whatever is going on in her land because she's blotto for Gabriel, but she's a bit under the power.
Well, right, yeah. Gabriel sends her away, and she wanders off.
I have a question. So Gabriel laughed at what
not
he was
Gabriel
told about the two rivers.
There's no archangel in this story.
Right. He is not bringing the sword of destruction. Gabriel.
I keep calling him Gabriel.
Yes, you do.
Anyhow, this man,
that guy.
Now all I can think about is Gabriel.
Don't
like
say
Gabriel Byrne. Like, are you picturing him in like
Last of Days?
Right, exactly.
End of Days.
End of Days is a Schwarzenegger one.
Strange Days.
He's in that.
No, not Strange Days is the one with.
Anyhow,
yeah.
This guy. Do you think now? How do you pronounce his name?
Seriously? Gabriel.
Gabriel. He brushes off the fact that the two rivers is he's like, this is no big deal. This has been dealt with.
Right.
Do you think he really feels like it's not a big deal?
I get the feeling he really does feel like it's not a big deal, which means he's probably not involved in that subplot.
I also think
he's not the one that sent out Slayer.
I think it's I don't know about that, but I think I do. I think it's a bit of subterfuge also because he doesn't want her to focus on anything other than what he wants her to focus on.
Does he really need to engage in subterfuge with her? He pretty much feels like he's got her under his thumb and he can make her think about or forget anything he really pleases.
But I think part of that is having her focus on only what he wants her to focus on. I don't know exactly how compulsion works, but I think part of it is guiding someone in a path that you want to guide them in. And maybe part of that is guiding them away from what you don't want them to talk about. Now, maybe he doesn't have anything to do with that plot. I don't know. We don't know.
That's the conclusion that I'm reaching at this point. But we can get into compulsion a little bit more here because it stops working. It suddenly stops working now.
Is it it's almost like a radius thing. There's an area of effect.
Right. He's using an aerial tower and hypnotizing her with radio waves.
Her cell reception ran out, and all of a sudden,
oh, it's 5G.
Right.
Yeah.
She's not on 5G. She's on 3G.
Right.
And that's the problem.
I don't even think there was.
He's using 3G.
I think it skipped from 2 to 4.
Up to this point, it seemed like he had complete control of her. Basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, I understand the minutia that you're talking about, which is interesting to bring up because you're right. All of a sudden, she just thinks, "Oh,
it's
he's
like
up to something."
She's in her bedroom. She's away from his sphere of influence as it is, and all of a sudden she can start thinking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? I don't know that we have an answer.
Well, it could have happened before, and then it could be a cycle over and over again that she thought that.
She does suggest that she might have done some of these things before. We get a description of how compulsion works. So she looks into his eyes, and it says that she seemed unable to look at anything but his dark eyes. Her skin tingled as if an icy wind were blowing through the courtyard. So it's almost like this Svengali thing where his eyes sort of take over her field of view, and when you hear this sonorous voice that's telling you what to do.
Have you seen the movie Get Shorty?
Yeah.
So there's this scene in there, of course, where John Travolta is saying to the guy, "Look at me," And he's captivating their attention by the staring in John Travolta's eyes. Well, meanwhile, Gene Hackman tries to do that. He's like, look at me. And the guy punches him right in the face.
Right. Yeah.
That's what would happen if you didn't have the power and weren't able to do that. This poor woman, though, she's done horrible, horrible things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Well,
she's just finding them all out as we further develop that thought.
The compulsion thing, Gabriel actually talks about a little bit in one of the earlier chapters here when he's talking to the High Lady Altima. And he talks about the fact that you have to be careful when using it. You can't use it too often, because if you do start using it too often, the person becomes aware of it. So he's aware that it can get overused. He's aware that there's a danger in overusing it, because we get the sense that he's sending her off on these naps in the middle of the day frequently. First of all, when she comes to see him, he's like, hey, what are you doing out of bed in the heat of the day like this?
Yeah.
So he's sending her and getting rid of her by having her nap, which essentially is just like plying her with too much wine so that she sort of passes out in the middle of the day for several hours. He's been doing this with her for a while now.
I'm not going to kid you. I kind of would like to be compulsed in the middle of the afternoon while I'm working. You just put me out for a 2-hour nap.
Right. Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, but I think if you've done it for months on end, which is what we get the sense that she's been letting things go for an extended period of time, it becomes a problem.
I definitely agree with that. I don't know if he would have to keep using the power. Maybe it could be like Pavlov's dogs, that she's just trained like that after a while.
Yeah.
To hear his voice, that he would that she would just go off.
But isn't there this suggestion, because we saw with Nynaeve, at least in the dream world, whatever that word is I just tried to say.
Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yes, that too. I wonder if Nynaeve would have been able to do that in the waking world as instead of all of a sudden I'm like tongue-tied. I can't say this word.
You mean Gabriel.
Tel'aran'rhiod,
right?
Yes.
Yes. Tel'aran'rhiod. But Morghese is doing it in the real world, and there's that suggestion of strong-willed individuals. As a queen,
right. Yes.
For sure you're a strong-willed individual. Nynaeve, we all know about her.
We know she's strong-willed because of Tom, right? Tom has constantly talked about her strength of character. So there's no doubt.
And as we get further on, Linny talks about it too. But we're kind of reaching a compulsion works so far as long as the individual will, I want to say let it work internally. I don't.
Yeah. There's several things going on here. I think there's strength of character. I think maybe Gabriel has used this to an extent.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense. I didn't know that I didn't remember that was brought up before. That's perfect.
He talks about there needing to be a balance, and then he mentions the thing that Dave mentioned, which is there are certain people who resist it better than others do.
They're people who need people.
Or who want to get away from people.
The loneliest people
in the world. Morghese then goes off to visit Linny. Linny tells Morghese of Gabriel's infidelities.
Well, I like how
she's been dipping his willow.
She doesn't even know where she's going. She just wanders off because I think she's still a little brainwashed. Yeah,
she's foggy.
And finds herself in Linny's hallway.
Right, who she has not visited in 6 months.
Right, that she didn't know about.
Right.
Morghese. Yeah, that was a great moment when she said that she was there every week, and Linny just looks at her and is like, "No,
you fool woman."
Girl.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, everybody knows about this.
Well, and then it's funny because Morghese thinks really briefly there that Gabriel had used the one power on her, but then she dismisses that because of the impossibility
that can't be
a man his age not having gone crazy. Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't even think about that so much as
says she thinks it flat out. No, nobody who could use no male who could use the one power could reach that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very flat.
She doesn't know her history
another
very
little
well.
thought that comes through.
What do you mean?
Well, Lews Therin couldn't have been very young.
Lews Therin was dead 3,000 years ago or more.
Well, I know, but just in knowing how old the Forsaken were when they were channeling, men were able to do that. I mean, how old do we think Mazrim Taim is?
Probably in his 20s.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting point.
These guys you don't live you go insane very, very quickly.
How old do we think Logain is?
They're probably all somewhere between 20 and 26, I would guess.
Well, Rand is 20 or 21.
Yep, 20 or right, yeah.
I felt like I got the picture that Logain was relatively older than him, but then I guess the other thought is
26.
At what point did they start channeling?
Well, we don't.
So you could have an older individual.
The women start gaining access to the one power at a younger age, usually like
I don't know if that's the case
in
with
their
the men
early
or not.
teens.
I mean, it didn't come into Rand until 2021.
until he was like 18.
Yeah.
We
have
started
no
seeing it in the
evidence of
first
it.
book. He's either going to be, 19 or 20 there. Right.
Yeah, we have no evidence in his life if it took place earlier. or
Either
not,
way,
but
though,
it may have.
26-year-old or a 28-year-old.
Nynaeve didn't know that she was doing it early on in her age, so it could have been the same with Rand.
So,
we have no evidence of it, though.
We're in really tricky waters if we start comparing the male and female experience with the one power, because the book goes out of its way to talk about how different they are.
Rich. And
Sure,
compelling.
but I'm not comparing them like they're the same thing. We have no evidence of young men experiencing this power.
We do,
Of
pre-teens.
teenagers, preteens, or
Yeah, because
early
even
teenagers.
Tom's nephew, we don't know how old he was.
We can only conclude from what the people's whose age we do know, and moments like this.
I
So-
assume that they're all in their 20s.
We get a little recent history of Caemlyn. Morghese sends Linny for Talonvor. Morghese asks who is loyal amongst the guards, and Talonvor informs her that
It's
pretty
me.
much no one.
It's me. It's me. It's
Yeah.
me.
We are kind of joking when we say that there's no one else. What we really mean is that there's not enough to matter.
Well, the
There's
other
no-
ones are probably
they have to go to
dismissed.
the outlying. They have to go to the outlying
Or
garrison.
they're in hiding and they're
somewhere that
cowards. The one thing that we can say for him is, I mean, even he swore
brave.
the oath to Gabriel.
I
He's a
like
bad
this
guy?
young man.
You do.
I do. I like
Okay.
Talonvor
Oh,
Why?
okay.
because he's loyal. He's loyal to a queen that's crapped all over him, and
Well,
everybody else.
He doesn't have any trouble judging her with his face, which she catches on.
No,
to
but
pretty
I mean, it
quickly.
seems like for good reason.
Well, yep, absolutely.
But he's still standing by her despite all this stuff. So he sees some good somewhere. I don't know what that is, but that's what I'm curious. What is it that he sees?
I don't know. But he is the guy that brought Matt in to visit Morghese
Mhm.
the first time.
Yeah, I
He
don't
keeps
understand.
coming up.
I-
He is our Bail Doman of the
Sure.
Queen's Guards.
So that's
Yeah. Sure. Well,
With these new
even if it's
covers.
not,
Oh,
even
it is.
Yeah, sure. If it is, he does keep coming up.
There's something more.
Unless he's aware of the fact that she's under someone else's control. That
I
would be
don't-
the only.
That would really
that
be
would-
surprising. In which case, why
and it
wouldn't
would be.
why
Yeah.
wouldn't he act on that? Why wouldn't he do
How?
something about it? I don't know. Right now, all I see is a guy who is really angry with her
Who's
and
specifically loyal
and-
to
and,
the queen.
but polite enough not to actually say anything about it. If anything, he's struggling. It seems like he's struggling against some sort of outburst, to yell at her.
Does seem like he is.
So Morghese suggests that she's going to
Yep.
flee. And so she tells Talonvor to meet her at the Queen's Blessing. Hey, the Queen's Blessing is back.
Yeah,
And
along
Basil
with Basil
Gill.
Gill.
Good
So-
old Basil Gill.
In the Queen's
Yeah.
Blessing stable, she's rejoined by Basil Gill and Lam Gwyn and his new bride, Brienne.
It's a great troop of people.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward I'm looking forward to this journey.
So now we've got two women out there that have been cast out by their societies.
Talonvor.
He suggests that they go to Gareth Bryn,
Right, exactly.
which is saucy.
They're good luck with that.
Well, that's
He's
where
out
they're
and about
headed.
after a
Right.
good set of eyes.
We know that.
How do you
That's-
think that's going to end?
Which one?
Well, how do you think him meeting with Morghese is going to go?
Bryn with Morghese?
Well,
Yeah.
Morghese keeps
as Dave
shouting out-
suggests, how is he going to meet with her? She's going to go to his manor, and he's not going to be
Well,
there.
not only that, she keeps shouting
Yeah,
out that he's a
that's true.
traitor. I'm curious about this whole traitor
Right.
thing.
Right,
I know.
they keep alluding to this, but we have never gotten any
He-
details on the
He
event.
talked a little bit about something that happened with her. I can't remember the exact
Not in
details of
specifics.
Right, there wasn't exact
No,
details.
and he was kind of joking around
But
about it.
my thought is, did this happen before Gabriel or after?
Sure.
Very good
It sure-
question.
right, that is a fair question. I've just assumed it happened during Gabriel's time because
I thought
the
so.
mentions of it occur after the meeting with. Well, no.
Well, and that's
How
the question.
long
has
If
it
so,
been-
why
how
doesn't
long
that
has
pop
Gabriel
into
been
her
around?
head?
Remember, she's convinced that the one power hasn't been used on her, so
Yeah.
she still has no idea why she did the stuff she did. That's the other strange thing is she's vaguely becoming aware of all these horrors that she's committed, yet we don't get any moment where she takes any personal responsibility for them. She's never questioned why she's done these things yet.
Yeah, we haven't had that
That's
moment
weird.
yet.
Yeah, I've done terrible things
Right.
that aren't really within my character.
Yeah.
Why did I do them?
Yeah.
Wait, so how long do you think that he has been in control here?
Here we're getting to time again.
Oh no! Well, we know he came down during the winter. We know he appeared there during
have a very
during the
extended
winter months.
It hasn't been that
so it's been
long.
It's been within
under
the
a
last.
year.
I mean, I would say it's been under a year.
Well
it's been
under
like
a
a
year.
9 to 6 months somewhere around there
Or
because
6
she
to
keeps
9.
she keeps referencing
9 to
she
6.
keeps referencing
subtracting
the
the
upside down world.
she keeps referencing the fact that all of the things she's done within the last half year.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
would the guess
a lot.
would be it would be within the last half year, but he'd probably been around for several weeks before he just started having her do stuff too.
Yeah. Seems like a type of guy that would do something like that.
So then the scene shifts to Pod and Fane.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the dagger as the glyph. So Fane goes to the storeroom to find his dagger, and
This is a really interesting
an
scene.
Accepted comes in and he just kills her.
Bye-bye, poor Accepted.
Can't
Wrong
figure
place,
out.
wrong
He's
time.
sneaking in and he's like, why are there no alarms?
There's
Why
no
can't I
gongs
just get
going
in
off.
here? Why is this so easy to happen? And then somebody wanders in and he just kills her, and then in comes Alviarin.
And all our questions are answered.
Yes. Well, okay. So it's interesting that you say that. So
least
does
about
that mean?
her.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, about her.
I have
for
one
sure.
more question about this.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think that she's the one that killed the farm girl?
That's who I think killed her.
Probably. I think that's a fair assumption.
Does that mean you no longer believe Elida is
I think
a dark
Elida
friend?
probably. I don't know that I've ever necessarily thought Elida's a dark friend. I just think she is evil.
Okay, but you don't think she's Black
I don't think
Aja.
she's Black Aja. I think
Okay.
she's just an evil person.
The fact that she's an evil person is inarguable.
Right. She's a horrible person, but she hasn't. I don't believe she's given herself to the shadow. I think she probably sent Alviarin there, and Alviarin killed her, and she doesn't care.
You were saying that you thought it was Elida before, though.
I did, but then this revelation came out with Alviarin being Black Aja.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm sure Alviarin was sent there on the behest of Elida, and I don't know if we'll ever find this out, but I don't think that Elida would have any concern whatsoever if she found out that Alviarin killed this person. I think she'd be like, okay, well, we got the information we needed, and I'm Amerlin, so whatever. I mean, she's having her own subordinates beaten. She's doing whatever. So
It's pretty clear that Alviarin is not working in conjunction with Elida. She's comfortable being the second because
she considers herself actually the first.
Right. Well, and she also mentions I can use Elida as a shield. Any of the problems that occur here, it's going to be Elida's fault, not mine. She assumes that she has enough influence in the position that she's in, but she doesn't have to deal with any of the problems.
Not a bad situation.
Let's get back to Fane, though. He makes this comment that, he was whole again and one with what had bound him so long ago, one with what, in a very real way, had given him life.
Yeah, the dagger. Mashadar's in the dagger.
The dagger has given him life. So he has been reborn by the evil that was in Shadar Logoth.
Because he is Mashadar, or whatever we want to call him, Morgoth, pick a name for the guy.
Yeah.
He's all that, but I wonder if part of him is imbued into the dagger. So he's not completely whole until he's got that part of him back, and that part of him is in the dagger. So until he has the dagger, he's not completely whole.
But why would that be? Just because it was taken away from
Well, we even had with
his
Matt,
location?
even with Matt, we had a sense when Matt did not have the dagger on him, he felt like he was missing something, and his
That's
health.
because Matt had touched that dagger, though.
So is the guy that is in whose soul is taken over. Fane has touched the dagger.
Right,
as
yeah,
well.
There's
a
an
little bit of
essence
his
of
treasure was-
Shadar Logoth and Mashadar in the dagger, and because Fane is part
could it have
Mashadar,
been, could it have been any other thing?
No.
Oh no, I think it could have been. It could have been a spear. It could have been anything that had
right.
left Shadar Logoth
Like
with
a
its essence in it.
anything that left.
That's the one
Okay.
thing that I did get out of this was it was something specific about this dagger. It wasn't just that it was a piece of treasure from that treasure hoard. There's something about this dagger specifically,
I'm not sure,
and that
but I think it's as far as we know, it's the only thing that's left there.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, it's definitely the only thing that's left.
So otherwise, Mashadar is contained within Shadar Logoth.
But-
So it literally could have been anything else, but that is the only thing that left.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, it's important anyhow.
But there's also language when he talks about going back to get it that is specific to the dagger that pricked my ears as a reader, that I went, oh, wow. What are the chances that Matt happened to grab the most significant elements of the treasure hoard?
Well, he is.
It's a story.
Yeah.
That's
and
that's
he's
what
also
happens.
Taviran, so,
Yeah, it's right. We also, from Thane, get a description of Thakon Dar, which we've never had before.
the striated sky. And all
So he
that kind
talks
of
about a
crazy.
huge sea of fog rolling and crashing in silence against black cliffs, the fires of the forge glowing red beneath, and lightning stabbing up into the sky, which I thought was interesting.
It's
Great
disconcerting.
description.
And then he talks about, having taken a path down to the belly of Sheol Ghoul down along the line with stones like
And
fangs
Alviarin's
hanging
caught by
from the
surprise by
ceiling.
all this.
Lightning
Yeah.
does go up into this.
We all know that, yes. But
Right.
Yeah.
But
So,
you don't usually see it that way.
Right.
It's interesting. His credits are far more substantial than Alviarin's are.
Yeah. Why doesn't she know who he is, or does she know who he is?
She doesn't know who he is.
Why doesn't she? Wouldn't you think someone of her import in the White Tower or other Dark Friends should know, oh, be on the lookout for this guy.
But
'Cause-
from who?
Kill him.
From who? Who would communicate that to her?
Whoever she reports to.
But he
Yeah,
is,
but we've had
he is
this-
essentially like the Forsaken.
But we know there's
soul-
other Murdraw that have been on the lookout for him. We know there's other whatevers that have been told.
Yeah, I feel like those were all sent by Baalzamon, and Baalzamon is dead now. So perhaps the knowledge of Thane and what he was doing is dead with Baalzamon.
Yeah, maybe. I just feel like he's someone that should be on everyone's radar.
Yeah, but this stuff is glossed over. People didn't know who was who within the tower, even the pretty high level Dark Friends.
And the
didn't
more
know.
we learn about the Forsaken, the more we learn none of them communicate with each other. None of their people cross
But
communicate.
this isn't it. But I wouldn't feel like this is a communication from the Forsaken. This is a communication from the Dark One. My hound is no longer my hound.
But we've never seen Sheotan communicate with anyone. The only communication that we've ever seen come from Sheotan, we learned later, was Baalzamon.
Well, I'm sure he was given orders. They all go to Shaiel Ghul to get their orders.
He's also the only one. He's the only one that we know of who claimed to have any mission directly from Sheotan. Think about the times that the communications that we've had with the Forsaken amongst themselves. They seem more concerned with like these temporary geographic victories than they do about like any sort of Armageddon war.
It's just surprising to me. Like, this guy's like,
I get
the
it because of
second
how
biggest
important
evil.
he is, right? Yeah, because of how dangerous he is, but there's no real master communication network at play here.
Yep.
So chapter 20, the Jengai Pass. Rand and the Aiel have reached the Jengai Pass. Moiraine is back at it again, jabbering away at Rand's ear.
Good for them.
I get the sense
Talking
that
to each other.
she also seems to be demonstrating some of her previous lack of audience awareness. However, she advises Rand to be fair with the Kyrianan when Rand has pretty much demonstrated nothing but fairness with the Tyrans.
Yeah.
I mean, he sent a food mission to Kyrian. He stripped away all the stupid medieval laws with
How much of that do you think is the fact that she
privileging
is
the
Karianan?
lords. I think it has more to do with the fact that she's still has this thing of she has all this knowledge and she just assumes because he's only a 20-year-old boy that he can't possibly know that much, despite what she's seen, despite what she's actually witnessed.
Or how much of that do you think is also our impending sense of doom and she's just slamming information at him?
Well, she's definitely slamming information at him. That's for sure.
I mean, we all feel like Moiraine is on the clock here, and you got to get all this information out. Who cares what your target audience is?
Well,
you got to get this
If
information
you have a
out.
limited amount of time, then you'd be better off by sieving out all of the information that isn't pertinent because the person already knows it,
If you
and
feel like you
instead
can do
focusing
that.
on right. I mean, she doesn't seem to be using her eyes very well in this particular instance. So they arrive at
Rand went out of his way to take care of them.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's
he's
demonstrated
doing it.
himself
He's
to be a bit of
continuing
a
to do it.
philosopher king. They arrive at Tyene, which has been ravaged by the Shaido.
Not so good.
They learn from Tal, Errol, and Ander that the Shaido are 6 days ahead of Rand and the Aiel. And they've taken some of the Tyenes as Shine. Yeah.
Some of the young ones.
I love how there's evidence of what they've been done. They're told what they've done, and the Aiel are like,
Still can't believe it.
That can't have happened.
Well, it
right. Did happen.
Yeah. It just goes to demonstrate.
Our people are missing.
Right.
We watched them get taken and stripped naked and shuffled away, but okay, it didn't
and then
happen.
Had white robes put on them.
Right. Yeah.
Are they terry cloth robes? Do you think they're at least comfortable? I don't think so. No, they're probably made of like wool.
They're like no, not
unprocessed,
even. They're that sheet
wool.
That you buy like as your backup sheet for your extra bedroom that like no one's ever going to sleep in, but you just put over to cover the bed up with. Yeah.
I've never seen white burlap. How do you bleach? How do you bleach burlap and make it white? Probably soften it a little.
Probably with bleach.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Chapter 21: The Gift of a Blade. Rand's group sets up camp there right outside of Tyene. After Rand and Aviendha enter Rand's tent, she gives him Laman's sword to cancel her debt to him.
That's beyond a cancel.
Well, but apparently it's like worthless among Aiel circles now.
Now, Aiel is only like part of the world. The rest of the world would be like, I'll pay you a kingdom for that.
Well, but they don't care. But yeah, clearly the Aiel don't care about that.
It's covered in gems and moonstones.
They did at one point. It was just passed around and around and around.
Yeah, it eventually
passed over the fact that Melaine and Bale got married.
Oh, there we go. Melaine and Bale got married.
Well, it happened in the blink of an eye.
We didn't actually see it happen. We just get reference.
We get to hear about what happened later, but anyhow, yeah. So a sword was given.
Hence the name
ridiculous.
Of the chapter.
Yeah.
But Rand does not want the scabbard that has all of the gems on it, and he doesn't want the hilt because it's totally useless as a sword. Because
he recognizes
the blade itself
sword.
Is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes the blade, and fortunately for him, there's somebody in the little town here who is able to rejigger it for him.
Yeah.
So there he goes.
He knew that though. He was talking about.
He was hoping
there might be someone. Yeah.
He was hoping.
Which Aviendha cannot stand as an Aiel.
Aviendha, after telling him about Melaine's marriage, goes on to describing all of the different sorts of flowers that can be in the wreath to indicate the female's personality.
I love how they're doing this little dance, these two.
It's so obvious now, it's annoying.
And no one's saying anything, but they're sure saying a lot.
Right.
Or at least Aviendha is.
Aviendha is.
Rand's dreaming about it, but not talking about it.
Then Rand asks Aviendha who gave her the necklace.
Again.
Speaking of games. And she gives him a coy reply.
We know who it is.
We know who it is. But she clearly does not want him to know who it is because she wants him to go on being jealous because she sensed that he asks it out of a slight amount of jealousy.
Yeah. And Rand just can't stop asking.
Well, no, he only asks the one. He hasn't asked in a while.
I know, but I'm just saying he's
and he tries to ask as offhandedly as he can here.
I love once again they're talking about the snowflake pattern, which no one seems to know what this is.
Aviendha just keeps playing games here. The scene then shifts to Mat, who is ruminating on his relationship with Melindra.
Melindra, yeah.
You skipped over again the wedding, where apparently in this wedding both sides get into a fight.
Well, no, not
that
both
is
sides.
Part of the ritual.
It is part of the ritual, deal habitual.
We hadn't experienced this before, and then Bale has to take a beating, and then he carries her off.
He's taking a beating from his future wife.
Well, right after he has to fight his way through his clansmen.
Yeah. I don't want to be part of a wedding like that. That's jacked up.
No, I like the symbolism.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'd be exhausted.
Well, yeah,
I'm going to sleep now. Screw anything else.
You're like, here I am.
Literally.
This is why you married me.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to sleep. Go. Where are my tasty cakes? Like.
All right. Chapter 22. Bird calls by the night. Mat and Melindra relax, and then bird calls announce the arrival of Trollocs to the north and south. And it's a small Trolloc attack because all the Trollocs are really there for at this point is another Drakkar attack. Because that's all the Trollocs do now is just cause a distraction so the Drakkar can come.
What I wonder is this. Are there multiple Forsaken using the same tactics, but because they don't know
Right, 'cause
that the
they're
other
not-
Forsaken are using the same tactics, they keep sending the same mission.
They think
just getting
they've
attacked
arrived
by
on
both
some
sides.
original idea here.
Right.
And-
But everyone's doing the same thing.
I love
It's-
that.
Because
love that
they
idea.
all went to West Point, and it's straight out of the playbook.
Right.
So,
They're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna
page
attack him there.
292.
Send in Trollocs, but in reality,
Flanking Trolloc attack, descend Drakkar in the middle.
it's
Well,
not
so
noir.
Right.
So
Well, it is a night.
these Trollocs are attacking, and they're saying for Samael.
And the Golden Bees.
Well, there's a
And the
good
golden
observation by
bees.
somebody who says maybe that's subterfuge. Maybe that's not actually who is sending them in.
Right.
Oh, they're just using it. They're saying, "Hey, you guys should say this."
Well,
Yeah.
that makes
Well,
sense
it
for
is
me.
weird.
Way.
It is weird that you would be shouting out who
Right.
sent you. I mean, clearly this is a sneak attack of some sort.
Sneak attack
Right.
from Samael.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, are you listening to me? Sneak attack
Right.
from. It's like the passive aggressive thing on Facebook.
It's a singing gram.
Yeah. Pay
I
attention
like
to
the
me.
fact that this guy is really easy, and then it's for him and the Golden Bees.
I think, right. I think it's hilarious that the Golden Bees are his sigil.
Hey man, if you're allergic
I'm
to
not
bees and you get
scared
stung
by
by
a
them, it's
golden
not.
bee.
You're scared of pineapple. Why wouldn't you be scared of a golden bee?
Because I'm not allergic to bees.
Well, see,
That's
there
why.
you go. Many
Is
people
everybody
are.
allergic
Maybe
to bees in
Samael
this
should
world?
have a pineapple as
Hey.
his,
Oh,
as his
here,
sigil.
This is a nice
That
segue.
would
So
scare
maybe-
Adam.
These are bees led by a Forsaken, so maybe they're like bees the size of your head.
They're killer bees.
Right? Yeah. These are these
Yeah,
bees that we
well-
keep hearing about from like.
Right. They're coming up from
There should be
Mexico.
there should be some
and,
sort of
and
description.
Africa.
Those are wasps.
Nonetheless,
There's the Drakkar attack. Rand kills one behind Avienda. Avienda kills one behind Rand.
Rand's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" She's like,
yeah.
"What are you doing, you idiot?"
Yeah.
Egwene and the Wise Ones come running. Egwene goes in to talk to Avienda. After determining Rand's safety, the Wise Ones leave, while Rand and Lan show up and check in on Rand. And then Rand
Yep.
goes off to visit Asmodean and is sure that Samael...
Meanwhile, Rand's like, "Why didn't you show up earlier?" Because I had things I was doing. He's to Moraine.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
right,
kidding.
yeah.
And she's like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I was fighting other people. You got to be able to handle yourself, young pup.
Right,
It was
yeah.
a kind of a funny moment. She's like, "You're not my only concern, dude."
Well, right, but he was using that as a point of like you're around me all the time. Here during a battle, all of a sudden you disappear. That's sort of weird when you place such a high value on me.
But it's kind of like, but at the same time, she's
They
not.
both
she,
make-
she can't teleport. She's not
No.
him. She can't travel. Or
They both. I
skim
feel
or
like they both
whatever.
make good points, and he's just being argumentative.
Yeah.
And then Rand visits Asmodean and is sure that it is Samael who sent the attack because it's similar
Yeah.
to an attack that Samael did on Luce Theron in Rand's memory.
Well,
That Natail was surprised by.
we're supposing once again, Rand can't be the only student of history. So another Forsaken could still theoretically be doing this and staging
Oh no,
it.
this is just what Rand thought.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Asmodean doesn't agree with Rand. He think because this is totally not the way that Samael usually behaves. He usually does not have an outright attack. He waits until he's sure of victory. And
Right.
only then does he attack. So we have a couple of differing opinions here. Chapter 23, the fifth I give to you. Rand sets the rules with the clan chiefs as to how to proceed once they enter Westland.
The fifth I give to you, so long as it's not food.
Soralia, Egwene, and Avienda discuss what Avienda has to do, which is
What do I have to do?
stay at Rand's side. Soralia mentions Farron as a possible husband for Avienda, which goes over awkwardly.
Right.
Chapter 24.
And Egwene keeps asking about it. Who's
Aim-
this Farron guy?
Right.
He's nobody.
A message
He's
sent.
not Rand. Don't worry about him.
Egwene and the Wise Ones meet with Elaine. Elaine and Nynaeve are 3 days outside of Gildan.
Hmm.
And Egwene sends Nynaeve a coded message to meet her in their old accepted room in the tower. And that is the end of our story. So, Dave,
Those last chapters were really fast.
They
What
flew
shook
by
your
pretty
willow?
quick, yeah. So my Willow moment is I'm very confused because we've discovered that Rand can do this different version of traveling. You know, he zips across space and time on this little device that he travels on that he's learned from Asmodean. He can't do this version of traveling, which is quicker and easier. Why the heck isn't he beep-bopping ahead of Couladin to confront him? Rather than just plodding along 6 days behind and letting all these people get murdered.
I mean, he's scared as heck about what Couladin is doing there in Cairhien.
Yeah.
And he can travel.
But why isn't he ahead of him?
And he can make lightning appear from the sky and kill a bunch of people.
Zap him! What's going on?
I don't understand it either.
I don't get it. It seems weird. It seems like something we're missing here.
Now, there's a lot of Shaido. There's
There
thousands
are,
of them.
and there are a lot, even more
Of the
Aiel
Aiel.
traveling with
Yeah.
Rand.
He's got
couldn't
a
you
lot
take
of
like
people.
couldn't you take a strike force?
Well-
couldn't you take your Navy SEALs and zap
Do
in
you
and
think he can
assassinate?
travel? Do you think he can?
No,
he can
I don't-
do that with other people.
I don't think he could only do that with a portal stone. I don't think he can do that with the traveling thing.
Maybe
yet.
I don't know.
Well, we know how it works. It's a thing he stands on, so maybe he could make the pedestal bigger and move more of them across.
I mean, maybe he can
space
take
time.
him and Gaul and go in and stab
But
him
even
in the
just
neck.
he could even just him by himself, like just once, kill a bunch of people, zip out,
Not even
come
a
back,
bunch of
sneak
people.
attack like guerrilla
Just
war
go
style.
take out
That's
take out
true.
Couladin.
Yeah, right. Cut off the head of the snake.
Right. What is going on?
What is?
Does he have to see where they?
that would be my other question. I
He
mean,
knows where they're going. They're probably heading toward the capital city.
right. So you've been there.
Yes, and
He's
you
been there.
know the most likely path they could take. At the very least, you could get ahead of them, and then if they're not there, slowly walk back.
Make your way there,
Right.
and then you see them,
You
and then
can't
you
miss them.
right.
They're
yeah,
going to create a huge cloud of dust.
right.
That's a
That's
very
a-
good point.
Now that just makes me upset.
Yeah. I mean, something weird.
Well, what made me upset was the way that Aviendha shot that gout of flame at Rand without giving him any warning as to what was behind him.
That
So-
made you upset.
Rand probably should have looked back behind him before getting upset with her. But usually when you do something like that, you go, hey, or oh, or something.
Look out!
Right? Not just,
but Rand had just done the same thing. Rand had just done
Right.
the same
Rand
thing.
did do the
and
same
not
thing. He
given
didn't
her any
shout out
warning.
either.
with
He's
a
like,
very small little wisp of a thing.
but far more powerful.
Right. Well, but it probably
It could have
did not
knocked her
scare
from
but
existence.
She probably didn't even know what it was. It would have just looked like a friendly beam of light to her.
Friendly.
Yeah, it probably had a little sign hanging off of it which said bang.
Don't
Friend-
mind me. Yeah.
Friendly beam of light.
Yeah. The Looney Tunes bang sign.
Eric's childhood memoirs.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, she like
You know what it
hurls-
actually said on it? Kablam, Chico.
she
Oh.
hurls this huge thing at him and says nothing, just scares the crap out of him.
Well,
Whatever.
It would scare the
I-
crap
I
out of
don't-
me.
yeah.
Meh.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the
sure.
Karakar.
What do you
You're
mean,
not the-
meh?
You're not the Dragon Reborn. You're not Rand. You haven't seen. He can deal with that.
Oh,
I don't
Maybe
doesn't
that's her
deal.
thing.
he doesn't
He's not
deal with it
man
very
enough.
well.
Are you man enough?
No, he
to
doesn't
take
deal
it?
with it very
So
well.
he gets upset, which
Yeah.
yes, assume that she's probably not just trying to like singe your beard or your hair or whatever and trying to
What would make him
look
think-
back.
Right.
Look
Yeah.
back. That's a good call before you just launch into an angry
Your
tirade.
Yeah, I mean, know who it is.
I mean,
well, at the same
I know
time,
she
That's
has said
actually
that
my
she wanted-
memoirs,
she
Adam.
has-
Look back before you launch into your angry tirade.
she's a little surly at times.
That would
so-
be the correct, perfect memoir for you.
yeah.
But that is. But I like whatever. Good light at
a
the
friendly
end of
beam
my,
of light.
Yeah, friendly beam of light.
with a sign
She has
attached
said
to it.
before that she wants to see him dead, so I guess that would be scary.
Hasn't
Right.
said that in a while though.
No.
No, it's been
Now
a
she's giving him
while.
the world's most expensive sword ever.
Yeah. Adam, what shook your willow?
I am just wondering what is going to happen with Egwene and Galad now that a Galad is just pure White Cloak nonsense.
Nothing.
And we
good.
knew before that they were all like, ooh. Galad is always asking what Elaine is up to, and Egwene is always thinking Galad is really handsome. So it seemed like they were gonna maybe have a potential.
Well, Galad,
the most beautiful man.
Galad has found the most amazing female repellent.
It's called
Well,
Cloaks of
depending
White.
on the female.
It doesn't seem like too many people like white cloaks. We have not run into too many people who are like, yeah, white cloaks.
I'm sure they got their camp followers somewhere.
Yes, right.
We
They-
don't
they
hear
probably-
about them, but
They probably have their groupies.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we were discussing females and white cloaks in general, and they're just not around.
Right. They're right. That's true. But that fawning relationship or that developing relationship seems to have been castrated.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You think so?
I don't.
I think so.
She's an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, I don't see that going anywhere.
I mean, he's already run into his sister who is like, he would probably turn me in if I stuck around here any longer. Let's leave.
Not only that, maybe it's just me, but I think like if Egwene tried to pursue something like that, she would get throat punched by Elaine.
Right.
Elaine
Well,
would
that- yes.
full on
Yeah.
just be like, clean her clock.
Yes.
Be like, what is
So
wrong with you?
you both think this is not going to be mentioned again? That this is not a love interest that will be
Mentioned again. I'm sure that she will realize that he is a child of the light and then probably have regrets. Yes, that is probably going to happen.
Yeah, I because she wasn't there, but I don't feel like I feel like once that comes out, she's gonna be like, homie, don't play that.
and push her into Gawain's arms, who is also possibly along with the children.
Well,
right now.
it's funny you mention that because we have gotten mentioned a few times that Gawain keeps asking about her.
He's always asking about her.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to that. And we know Elaine would much prefer that because she's all about Gawain.
Well, it seems like Elaine has been encouraging it.
Yeah.
All right. We could be royals. Well, not us.
We could be royal.
Let's discuss the royals here. So we get a little bit more development of what's been going on in Caemlyn, and I don't just mean recently with
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
The name
Right.
Adam cannot pronounce.
Gabriel. Yeah,
I got
Gabriel.
it down.
you do.
Maybe I'll be able to pronounce Telonrioid. Oh, there it was.
No,
Kind of.
Yeah. When Morghese goes to talk to Linny, we finally get some chronology of how she came to the throne. Like we've been wondering off and on because we knew that there was some sort of turmoil involved. I think even the term the succession had been used. We had some general ideas. They finally become specific here. First of all, we learn her mother was Magdan, and she died while Morghese was young. Morghese gets sent to Tar Valon. And then there was this woman who was the queen called Mordrellin. And Mordrellin is the mother of Luke and Tigraine. So Tigraine has a daughter, and Tigraine is the daughter heir. Tigraine marries Tarangale Damodred. Tigraine bears Galad, is told by Guitarra Moroso that she has to leave to save her nation. Luke is then told by Moroso that he has to go to the Blight.
For some reason.
Mordrellin dies. Morghese then, who is in Tar Valon, leaves Tar Valon at the age of 16 after only having been in the tower for 2 years to contest the crown. After a 2-year struggle called the Succession, Morghese is awarded the crown. Morghese marries Tarangale Damodred.
For political reasons.
Morghese bears Elaine and Gawain, and then Damodred dies in the famous hunting accident that kills so many kings.
Yeah, very strange.
Well, boar hunting
I'm very
was
glad
popular.
that you brought this up because I just had a space here that said royalty. Hopefully Eric covers this.
So that's how Morghese got into the throne.
I hope Eric covers this.
There's now she's there, she's being hypnotized, and now she, like Swan Sanche, is just wandering out in the wilderness. What is her plan at this point?
Morghese?
She didn't even have a plan.
She's trying to go to her...
Talonvor had the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's trying to go gather support from the people that she ostracized.
That's putting it
Which
lightly.
she doesn't even think twice about.
She had that one woman whipped and stripped in the courtyard. I mean,
Yeah.
she has really
She's gotta go eat some
alienated these
crow.
people.
Or maybe she's going to go and be like, well, I'm your queen. Wouldn't
I don't
surprise
think
me either way.
I don't think she's going to do that because she's already talked about the fact that she's got some humbling to do.
I don't. No
And
matter what
can't
she
figure
does,
out what
I
she's
don't.
going to say to these.
I don't know that it's going to work.
I don't know that it's going to work either. She's got a very difficult task in front of her.
Yeah, she's hoed a very difficult path.
I mean, what do we know she's
not
done?
thinking that much about.
She's alienated all of the people that supported her during the succession. We know that much.
Yeah,
And she's kicked out Bryn.
I wish she got rid of Gabriel.
She's got to essentially, she's going to try to gather together that original coalition.
Her core supporters. Yeah,
But even she's got to believe there's no way I'm getting all these people back.
yeah. We're not getting the band back together.
What's she going to do? Create some sort of a rebellion at that point and storm the castle?
Yeah, I guess. But little does she know what she's trying to storm the castle against.
Right. She doesn't know she's
I
going
don't think-
against the
yeah.
Forsaken.
Yeah. The only thing in her favor that she doesn't know about is our boy Rand, who knows
Right.
who that is.
That's true. She's got some time. We got to believe that Rand and his Aiel are eventually going to get to Camelin right after
Rand
they
is
pass
not going to
Cairhien.
let a Forsaken sit in the throne of
Well, that's the
his-
reason he has this army, is
his
to battle the Forsaken.
girlfriend, or whatever
Right.
we want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the confused one. Well, she's not
Well,
confused.
he's
either.
confused the heck out of Rand, too.
Yeah, they're all
With the 2 letters. Elaine 2 letters. Yeah.
Lane 2 letters. Yeah. We also learned something really interesting through Linny about Talonvor and the fact that he pledged to
The old school pledge.
Gabriel, but then was sitting there crying behind the castle or wherever, the palace.
Well, the reason why was he had his
Yeah.
fingers crossed. I was like, I didn't mean it. My fingers were crossed.
Right.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, right. So then he cuts himself and repledges himself to the queen. So
Yeah.
he's a diehard.
Yeah,
He also might be a little wonkadoo.
he's all in. He is doubling down for
Yeah.
Borghese. I
This-
really hope she appreciates this.
It doesn't seem
she's-
like she does right now because
she's-
she's just saying, "Hey, you don't talk to a queen like that."
Right.
And
Now,
also-
I will
I mean-
say he's not making it easy because he's being Captain Cranky Pants about it.
Well, he's asking, "Why did it take you so long?"
Right. He's got no idea what's going on with her. I mean, she was this incredibly noble woman, and now she's gone against all of her principles in the last 6 months. He's got to be completely
It's the
confused.
dress. It's the dress.
Yeah. Well, no, he was ashamed of the dress.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got him all wonkadoo, as
Yeah,
you said.
Right. Yes. Let's talk about a little Rand here and get Randy. So
I'm confused. I don't know what. Travel Rand.
right.
Assassinate Kulade.
Yeah. Seriously. We get a feel here from the first inner monologue demonstrating Rand's arrogance. He wished
Yeah, I keep talking about this.
he was upset about the fact that he wasn't getting obedience from the wise ones, and he wished he could make them all swear Moiraine's oath because they keep interfering between him and the clan chiefs. A couple of minutes ago, I was talking about why Moiraine wouldn't trust Rand with the Cairhien, and well, thoughts like this are why she shouldn't trust him with them. What is Rand doing here?
Nothing good.
He's going to let these Aiel take a fifth of whatever it is, except food from what they come up against. So does this mean that they're going to take a fifth of the possessions of all these farm people whose land they're covering once they get to civilization?
I don't know if that counts as lands they're conquering, the farm people. I
All
think
right.
like Cairhien, if they go in and free it from the Shido,
So you think it's just limited to the towns?
I think it's limited to lands they conquer.
Well, they're conquering Cairhien.
Yeah, I think it's the capital at large. I don't think it's just the little villages that you're coming across. I could be wrong.
Good luck trying to explain that to the Aiel. I think
Right.
I think a town, they're taking a fifth of those possessions.
They're not going to get much.
Well, that's
They-
not the
people
point. The
seem to be
point
It
starving.
is
doesn't matter. They get a fifth of whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
they get a fifth of it, and that's not going to make Rand very popular.
No, but it is. I mean, that's the Aiel way.
This is what you should have thought of before you decided to use an army of Aiel to help make Westland like you.
Right. Yeah. Well, you talked about Moraine knowing your audience. Rand
Yeah.
should have known his audience. For all those books he's reading, he not too smart in the real world.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I
He
would
got
assume
into
that
bed
they
with something that he
I would
wasn't quite
assume that
expecting.
they're so gung ho about their beliefs that they would do it regardless of whatever they come across.
Well, he seems to believe, and they seem to be willing to follow him with the food thing. So
but they didn't seem happy about that.
They're not happy about it. Yeah, no, they're not.
Too bad.
They're not, right. Yeah, well, right.
You're going to get like five meals because there's no food, which is why Rand's shipping food up from Tyr, you dolts.
See, this is the one thing I thought of is he could use a little bit of Pedro Nial's plan where he could let the Shaido kind of creep in and cause havoc, and then he could come in with his Aiel and be like, we're here to take over the rogue Aiel that have come in. Right, yeah.
Except all these people just see Aiel and are like, savages.
That'd be their initial reaction. So you have Rand, so you eventually Rand is going to probably get a little bit of the Kyrianan army if he can get through the Shaido.
Those poor
you have
people.
those people in front, and then the Aiel come in later.
Those people from that town, whatever it was, that were all murdered and slaughtered by the Aiel.
Tyene, yeah.
Yeah, and then they see Rand's Aiel show up behind them. They're like,
right.
They just take off.
Poorly timed their arrival.
And Rand doesn't say anything or do anything.
Well, he's annoyed.
Wait, stop. They're fine. No, he just lets them run.
He's Willy Wonka.
I will not
go
there.
Factory. Oh, help. No.
Right. Wait.
Stop.
Don't.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
So that's what Rand should do is Rand should just keep a little group of the Shaido out in front of him and let him go and cause a little havoc and then come in and save the world.
Yeah.
And he just has to keep doing that over and over again.
See, now you're a bit Machiavellian here.
What do you think about that plan, Adam?
I don't think it's a great... I mean...
You don't think it's good to let the evil have its way for a little bit?
Do you think it's better or worse than Rand's plan?
It's not a plan so much.
I think it's way better than Rand's plan.
I'm just kind of thinking as I go here.
It's crazy, though, that Couladin is out there doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And that he has a...
Kool-Aid man's renting
How many
his
people
evil.
do you think Couladin has behind him?
Probably like 2,000, I would say.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Thousands and thousands.
Imagine that little tiny town and those thousands
I doubt
of
any of them died.
Aiel coming.
Did you say you doubt many of them died?
I doubt any of them died.
The Aiel? No.
Yeah.
No.
No, they had like 2 men on guard.
They killed that
and they had like 17 arrows in each of them.
They killed that town, and then they destroyed the town of Celion, right? Yeah. Which is on the other side of the Jengai Pass.
Jengai Pass, yeah. Those poor people were just sitting there.
Yeah, they're wreaking havoc. They're destroying worlds.
Drinking their tea, not their cough, but their tea.
Yeah, they are. And
they got an arrow
Rand
in
is
the
all
eye.
Rand is all upset that they haven't taken time to take those bodies off the wall, but they're so scared.
Right. They don't want to go back to that town.
Oh, yeah.
They're hiding out in the rocks for 3 days with no food.
Well, no, it was their own. They're still there. It's their own town. And the bodies are hanging out.
Matt's upset that they haven't posted a lookout
Matt's
either.
Like, what's wrong with your troop alignment?
They haven't seen the Aiel in 20 years.
Yeah. Your troop alignment is sadly lacking.
Because Lan looked at him like, they should have done
I'm
this.
paying attention.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Aiel, and I'll be there for you. What do you think the Shaido are doing? They are
pillaging, plundering, and stealing.
Well, fortunately, I mean, they're 6 days in front, so there's a possibility that they could get to Cairhien before Rand does.
I don't think that's a possibility. I think that's an actuality.
Especially if he doesn't use this traveling thing.
I don't see that happening. I think they're going to get there, and it's not going to be good for Cairhien because it's a land in revolt. We don't know how many people they have. Doesn't matter how many people they have. They're not the Aiel. The Aiel are the greatest warriors in the world.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
The amount of Aiel that they have right now is way more than the Aiel War.
Now, I will say, in defense, of Cairhien, they do have the giant walls to defend them. So there's that. Mm-hmm. But there's that outer village in front of the walls that is not going to get defended well.
Right. Yeah. We've seen what giant walls have done to the Aiel. It didn't stop them from taking over the stone.
No, it did not.
They climbed up that wall pretty easily.
And that wasn't that many Aiel.
No, it was a sneak attack.
It was a sneak attack, yes.
Yeah. Sneak attack.
And I have a feeling you're going to see that the giant pig pen dust cloud coming at you.
Yeah,
from a ways
away.
They're
not gonna sneak up, despite how slowly news travels here.
Right.
They're not gonna sneak up on anyone.
I am fully convinced they're getting there before Rand, and it's going to be destruction.
That's not good.
Do you think that they would willingly just welcome Rand there? Wouldn't there be destruction as well? It's like what you're talking about, Eric.
They who?
They might willingly welcome Rand if he just showed up by himself and were killing a bunch of the Aiel.
It depends if they're being besieged by the Aiel and someone else comes in and saves them from their besiegers. Yeah, they're probably like, you can.
I don't see the Shaido being a siege people, though. they seem to be pretty aggressive. Plus, I don't know how you lay siege with only 2,000 or 3,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but Kyrian is huge. It's going to be miles.
Yeah, but they're
going
to have only so many entrances.
Still,
and I don't know what the state of their army is right now.
You know what was
there's
big,
no
Eric?
leader.
Russia was big.
There's no leader, and if there's no leader,
Russia
it's
was
kind of
also
like
mostly
who's
ice.
going to organize an army?
Yeah, that's
there might
true.
not even be an army.
Right, that's the other factor that we're not taking in is that they're mostly in rebellion. That there is a civil war going on there right now.
Yeah.
So you're right. There is no cohesive element that that could gather an army together. It would be a bunch of small armies of lords fighting them. That place is ripe to be taken over. Is basically what we're describing. They're in trouble. They're in big trouble.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
capital
either way they look at
asset
it, they're
rhymes
not
with
going to be the ones in
Shido.
charge.
No, there's nobody in charge. And Rand is gone. And the people that are in charge are the tyrants who don't care either and don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's not good. There's going to be a lot of death.
Oh boy.
All right.
The death will just be, it'll be in like 20 sentences. Just
Right.
and then they died.
It'll be a
And then
45-minute war.
There was maiming, murdering, and slaughtering.
And then the town of Kyrian was no more.
Right.
Speaking of jerks,
Well, on to Falma.
Dave, who is your Coplin of the week?
My Coplin of the week was collectively the Shido.
Actually, yeah, I should ask Adam, whose nasal hair was your Coplin of the week?
I don't know what that means.
Nasal hair? Why on the earth are you
I don't
saying
know.
that?
You've cited people's mustaches.
right, yeah.
You've
Oh, that's
cited
true.
people's
There's
eyebrows.
nose.
I wish
The
I
nose.
wish I had something like that. No, mine is really easy.
No, wait.
Mine is.
I stepped
Yeah.
on David's though.
No, mine was the Shido. They're just
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
they're
great.
taking people guys shine when they
we don't.
can't.
Yeah. Right.
Or
yeah.
it violates all Aiel custom and law and everything they're about.
Mm-hmm.
It totally goes against Giotto, which is what they live for. So they've now completely turned their back on everything they ever stood for,
Suddenly. Right.
all at the behest of Couladin.
Right. Because he's got these dragon tattoos.
Right. Or is it
Yeah.
Savannah? I don't know who it is. Someone's doing something.
These people sure seemed ready to turn their
At the
backs
drop
on
of
their
a dime.
entire tradition.
They're slaughtering these poor innocent townfolk who are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So they're despicable.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
It just seems like they turned on a dime. And
Absolutely.
if they were this nasty, how in the world did the Aiel tolerate them for these thousands of years?
Blood feuds seemed like they were going on, but that's like that population should have been decimated.
Yeah. Somebody should have stepped in and taken them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order for to have that many people that would just blindly follow us. Well, I mean, quote unquote blindly, but yeah. Great, Dave. Good choice. Eric?
My Coplin of the week was Avienda. Just kiss Rand already. I mean,
Ooh.
come on.
I mean,
Okay.
I've had enough of this.
she's in his bedroom.
Right, yeah. I've
She's
had,
sleeping next
that's
to
up to
him.
Rand too.
not really.
yeah.
You want Rand to be the man. You want Rand to take control. Why are you letting
I'm
Aviendha
so
take
tired.
control?
I'm so tired of these. I'm so tired of these Jordan male-female
Well,
relationships.
I just
Maybe
feel like
Rand's
it's gonna
intimidated
pop
by
up in
her.
the next,
You know, I mean,
in
she's
the
a good-looking
sure.
woman.
I think it's going to happen over and over again in the next 9 books we have. We're going to have new characters, and it's going to be the same thing.
Constantly.
Hey, guess what? I
Right.
don't like you.
Right,
Well-
constant pulling of pigtails.
Well, I will say this much: we are running out of characters that aren't having people who like them. So there
Yeah,
can only
sure.
be so many unless we're introduced to new characters.
Right. Well,
That's
which,
what I'm
which
saying.
is possible.
The new
yeah.
characters we get
Right.
introduced to, this is going to be their love affair.
Yeah.
But this does happen in real life. How many
Sure,
times?
but
How many
you know
times
what
have you
else
been with
happens
your
in
friends and been like, "Dude, just ask the girl out already"?
I mean,
You know what else happens
Yes.
in real life? You meet someone, you really like them, you make a move, and it's great.
Not always.
that doesn't happen that often, though.
Yeah,
just so
sometimes
you
you
know.
make the move and they're like,
Yes,
I'm seeing
It
somebody,
happens
you jerk.
often.
Right.
Oh, my
Usually things are more
I
complicated.
have a boyfriend.
I would just like some variety here, is all I'm
Yes,
saying. I would like some
exactly.
variety
We
with the
need variety. It's
complication.
all the
Okay.
same thing over and
Now
over
that I
again.
get, yes.
In every relationship with Rand. It started off even with a girl
Adam,
from
not
the
everyone
get-go.
leads the charmed dating life that you did, apparently, where everything just magically
I'm not
falls
even
into
using
place.
myself as an example. I'm using anyone that went out and had a good date. That's a lot of people.
That's also a lot of not people.
that's a lot of
hence
first
dating
dates.
sites. And hence why you see half the dating sites, they don't go back out on
dates.
second dates because they're like, that first date was awful.
Right. Where you
Man,
go out on
you
a
got-
second date and
y'all-
realize all that first date stuff was just a bunch of bunko.
Right.
Yeah,
Adam,
But whatever
at
that
least
word
you
was you
realize
used
it, and
earlier.
you're not just like
Right.
hitting each other over the head constantly.
You went out and you're like, man, that date was kablamchico
it's
from
all-
the get-go.
yeah,
it's
that's
all-
another mature.
It's
way
all
to go about
caveman
it.
relationships.
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna blow through these major characters. They're all gonna get hooked up, and then after that, we're never gonna face this again. That would be great.
Who was your Copland of the week, Adam?
Gabriel.
Oh,
It's a good thing you got his name right.
he's a scumbag.
Right? It was a toss up between him and Fane, but Gabriel, that guy.
He got more screen time.
Who do you hate more, Gabriel or Kuladin?
No,
Gabriel.
I just like Kool-Aid Man more. Gabriel at least has some.
He's got superpowers.
I still feel
He
like
has
there's
more
honor
control.
amongst thieves. I still feel like Gabriel has some sort of code. I don't feel like Kool-Aid Man has any kind of code
Gabriel
whatsoever.
is a Forsaken.
No, he's more
Couladin's not a
dangerous. He's more dangerous
no,
for sure.
he's a Forsaken.
Right, he's the
not
Forsaken.
Couladin, do you think? Couladin would be a Forsaken.
Kuladin was in league with one.
Yeah.
Do they have Aiel Forsaken?
No,
enough
there
about
wouldn't be
the
any
Forsaken.
Aiel Forsaken because the Aiel served the Aes Sedai, who the Forsaken.
Well, there's
are.
dark friends in the Aiel, so
Yeah, there are dark friends in the Aiel, but they're just not Forsaken.
well that we know of.
Well, no,
there's a
no.
couple of Forsaken. We don't know anything about
Yeah.
Demandred.
So there could be Forsaken at this point masking as Aiel. Yes, I suppose that's possible, but they could not be Aiel. They could not be
Right. I
Aiel
get what you're saying. Yeah,
descendants.
yeah. Unless they
All
were
right.
Jen.
No, they wouldn't
Yeah.
be Jen because the Jen served the Aes Sedai. All right.
Except we just
Who
don't know the history.
leveled up? Dave.
Look,
Dave.
I leveled up.
Dave.
Yes, it was
for
me.
You had a good week.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's funny you mentioned Avienda. I went with Avienda,
Ah.
And-
Avienda.
and I went with this because
Presto.
this poor girl. Clearly, we know she likes Rand.
She is being abused by her people.
They're putting her in untenable situations.
It's almost like she's a sacrificial virgin.
Right.
She's out there for the
Yep.
Kraken to come and get.
Seriously, yeah. And she's still holding up. She's
She is.
cracking,
She is.
and
She's getting gifts.
she's getting gifts. She gave Rand this fantastic sword to pay back the debt. Went over and above. She's holding to her code of honor somehow. She's learning in the power. She's able to fry this Drakkar.
Drakkar.
I'm developing Giotto for Avienda. Consider where we came from with her. How much we just despised her.
Yes.
And yes, it's annoying. Just kiss the girl
Right,
already.
exactly.
You know, I mean, but
Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
don't be sad. Yeah, I mean,
Don't be shy.
that too.
You could be sad.
Yeah, that's not working for me, man.
Be sad, but don't be shy.
Exactly.
Be sad, but don't be shy.
Someone, I mean, she's earning my respect for everything she's going through in this terrible situation.
This is big
Yeah.
news on Dave's part.
Growth
Yeah,
Yeah.
for both you
Dave's
and
a-
Avienda.
I'm impressed.
you're growing.
I'm
growing.
a growing young man.
Asmodean leveled up for me.
Oh,
Whoa.
Speaking
we
of,
are reaching into the depths this week.
You are being such a hypocrite here. But okay, let's hear it.
Yes, it's
Yeah, I mean,
Adam's nose
he's
hair.
he's right, yeah. Because
Okay.
he's teaching Rand. Rand is now able to do a lot of stuff that he couldn't do before. He's setting
Right.
wards that he couldn't
He's
set
developed his
before.
power. He still can't teach him to travel. Dang it!
Rand comes and finds him in the tent. He didn't try anything during the attack. He has
Why does
really
that
good
sound like
reasons
something
why
naughty?
he's just there.
He came and found Rand in the
Right.
tent.
No, Rand came and found him in his tent. And he's going with the plan, man. He's going with the plan. And Rand is getting bigger and stronger because of it. He's
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
Rand steroids.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
might be HGH, but yeah, it's undetectable. So it's HGH.
Interesting.
Rand's hitting
interesting
Rand's
choice.
hitting more home runs.
Spin rates
His batting
up, and he's
average
still
is
hitting
going
it.
up. It's all good until Balco.
until he finds the Astros, and then they're banging on trash cans.
That's right. So it's Asmodean.
Hmm.
Okay.
Who you got, Adam?
Okay.
Matt leveled up for me because he killed a Fade just with his new little weapon.
The eyeless.
quite easily.
And he's figured out the Fox medallion.
Yeah, he figured
Sort
that
of.
out.
Sort of.
And he's bagged the babe.
As far as we have figured it out. But he lopped that Myrddraal's hand off at first, which was sweet.
Yeah, it was.
And then he just went for the throat and then just kept going, da, 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 da. Gotcha.
He hamstrung at first.
I just like the fact that we have had such little of Matt, and then he just goes and he pops up and he does this, and then he's also just hanging out with this Aiel.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
which he's not really all that thrilled about any longer.
Hanging out naked.
No,
I love
of
Matt's prudishness for all the fact that he's just sleeping around, but he's like thrown off by the fact that like she runs out of the tent naked. He's like, wait a minute, I got to put some clothes back on.
That's right. Yeah, he's putting on his pantses.
Yeah.
But he's
also, I just
feeling
want
like
to give a little.
Man. Well, that wraps up episode 40. Join us for episode 41 when we'll cover chapters 25 through 30 of The Fires of Heaven. Until then, rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull, and she is to give you many cubs.
Dovien Zetovia takes again.